Johnson's Crossings world famous cinnamon buns. Supposed to be the best ever. Well, we'll see about that. And these are supposed to be the best cinnamon buns in the whole wide world.
That's what they said.
That's what they say.
That's their claim.
Well, I don't know, they're pretty good. What do you think?
Not quite the best.
I don't know, I know a little baker.
Second best?
They probably come in second or third or fourth best to some
It's
baker
not
I
the
know. But I'm not going to name any names, but her initials were Melina Cleveland. She makes a better cinnamon roll. I don't know what these raisins are doing in here. That doesn't seem like a good idea. What'd you think of those Cinnabon?
I mean, they were all right, but I would not say they were the best.
No, I wouldn't say they were world famous. I wouldn't say they were the best. I like just Cinnabon. Cinnabon is better.
Yeah. Probably maybe third or fourth down.
Yeah, they're not the best. I don't even know if they're top 10. I think it's an advertising gimmick.
I think it is.
To get people to drive to the Yukon Territory
To
for a
drive.
Cinnabon.
Now you can tell them you can drive to Greenville, South Carolina.
Do you remember that time that we were sitting with Ben and Angela at Cracker Barrel and we were like, we're going to Charlotte for Cinnabon.
Yeah.
Well, we just drove to the Yukon Territory for cinnamon buns. And they were not great.
like a kind, jovial retiree at Walmart. The SS Klondike stands as a greeter from the past, forever beached on the shore of the Yukon River, right at the south end of Whitehorse. And like any antique, she has stories to tell. We were a bit disappointed that the great paddle wheeler was closed to tours. She is undergoing renovations at the time, so future generations can enjoy this glimpse into the past. The park, however, had a theater where you can go in and watch a short movie with actual footage from the late 30s and early 40s. You can escape back in time as a second ship to bear the Klondike name runs the Yukon River, utilizing the same boiler motor as her predecessor, the Klondike II, makes her way downstream to Dawson, carrying cargo, fuel, and food. The journey only takes a day or so. At Dawson, the Klondike is reloaded with silver lead ore, and she and her crew of maybe 25 make the 4 or 5 day journey back upstream to Whitehorse. These are summertime-only excursions. In the fall, starting in 1929, mules hooked to turnstiles would haul the 210-foot-long vessel sideways up onto the shore, where she would winter, awaiting the melt come spring, when she could once again steam up and down the Yukon. This happened every year until 1950, when she was finally decommissioned. As we get closer to Kluane National Park, the cloud cover and drizzling rain recede, giving way to blue skies. We take more than a few minutes at the pull-off to snap photos as the icefield range comes into view. It is glorious. Off in the distance lies the sharp peak of Mount Kennedy, standing at 13,007 feet. And next to that, Mount Hubbard scrapes the clouds from their place in the sky at 15,000 feet. It's a wonder to behold, but Kluane National Park is not done giving. We don't know it, but we are about to come into Destruction Bay on Kluane Lake. goodness.
Hey, hush.
Hey, hush, what?
You're not recording, right?
It's 9:44 at night.
Start that over.
I'm not kidding. 9:44 at night. You can see completely outside. We're finally camped about, what, 20 miles south of the U.S. border with Canada to go into Alaska. Pretty exciting day as far as driving. We did not expect to make it this far because we hung out and looked at the riverboat. What was the name of that riverboat? I don't know. I can't think of the name of it right now. It's been a long day of driving. But, I mean, it doesn't get dark till late.
About 11 o'clock.
So we just drove on. And we're just south of the border, ready to cross. It's a good day.
It's a good day.
It's a good day. Stopped and did that hike along the did the suspension bridge. I think it's Marble Canyon or something like that. Had one of the roughest roads ever coming in. I have never driven on such a rough road.
It's a roller coaster.
Gabe was telling us about this upheaval that does on the, I guess when you get so far north, I guess the
Road
permafrost
buckles.
freezes and it pushes the road up, and it's unbelievable. But it was so much fun. If I get back to Greenville without a dash rattle, I'll be amazed. But 10 o'clock, it's time to go to bed.
Daylight, bedtime.
See you tomorrow. We made it. Whew. I'll wait for you to get around back. Man, it's about covered. There's a spot. The North Pole was definitely on our list of must-do. I had asked my father, of all the places you visited, where would you like to go again? Immediately he said Alaska, and specifically the North Pole. He was a letter carrier by trade for the United States Postal Service, and if your child writes a letter to Santa and puts a stamp on it, it goes to the North Pole in Alaska. Con and Nellie Miller arrived in Alaska in 1949 with $1.40 in their pockets and their 2 children. Con made a living as a fur trader to the local villages and started playing Santa Claus to the village children. He was the first Santa Claus some of them had ever even seen. In 1952, the Millers started work on a trading post in the new town of the North Pole, Alaska. As the story goes, one of the village children approached Con wanting to know, "Santa, are you building a house?" Inspired, the Millers named their new trading post the Santa House. And now, more than 60 years later, you can stop in, mail a postcard, talk to Santa, or just snap a few photos. We missed our opportunity in Whitehorse to have good salmon because the place was closed, evidently forever. So we kind of drove on to Fairbanks feeling like we missed out on our salmon. As we were driving around Fairbanks looking for a place to stay and a place to wash clothes, we spotted a sign for a salmon bake. Turns out it was at the coolest little park called the Pioneer Village. The salmon bake is open during the summer and costs a few dollars, but the park, including the 8 or 9 museums, are mostly free. There may be in 1 or 2 museums you had to pay a small fee for, but most of the park, most of the 44 acres, is free to walk around and see things or listen to bright music cheerfully played. There are ships and trains to ride and shops and even a theater or 2. Man, you're doing a good job. This place is a must-do on your Alaska trip. If you're planning a trip, this is a must-do thing. I guess the takeaway from Pioneer Village is plan for the unplanned. Leave time in your schedule to see the unexpected. Sometimes it pays off in a big way. We were trying to find a place to stay for the night. We were headed to wash clothes and wound up having great salmon and seeing some interesting history in a place we had no idea even existed. The Denali car, or the Harding car, is the train car that President Harding rode in when he came to Alaska to drive the Golden Spike for the Alaskan Railroad to signify the completion of the 500-mile line in 1923. Harding was the very first president to visit Alaska. The SS Nenana was built in 1932 and was launched in 1933. At 247 feet long, she is known as the last lady of the river, carrying passengers and freight until 1954.